How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being on the YouKnowDessie show.
Of
And
course.
yeah, and I'm glad we were able to get it worked out. And I'm glad I was able to, hop on early with you too. So
Right. Now I appreciate you.
yeah, I know you're definitely a busy person.
A
So
little bit.
yeah, so I'm just giving it a second for a few more people to pop in. But yeah, what city are you in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay, so you are in Atlanta. Okay,
Yeah.
ATL. It's a. Look, I'm in Dallas and like Texas, Georgia, Florida. A little hot right now.
Very hot. Very hot. I think it's already like 98 right now.
hmm Yeah. So, well, once again, welcome to the Dessie show. I appreciate you so much for being on. So, for the people who may not know who you are and what you do, please tell them.
Jeez. So I guess I'll start by saying I'm a female football player. I play for the WFLA, which is the Women's Football League Association. I'm also a serial entrepreneur. I made history recently by becoming the first female athlete to have her own shoe or sneaker company. And I also made history by becoming the highest paid female football player ever. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome. Thank you for that. And so, I want to start back all the way to the beginning. So, are you originally from Atlanta, or are you originally from Carolina, or somewhere like that?
So actually, I was born in Greenville, South Carolina, but I was raised in Houston. So I moved to Houston when I was like 2 years old, and then I moved to Atlanta when I was a senior in high school, and then I
Yeah.
went back to Texas to go to college and came back to Atlanta to start my business.
Okay. Well, shout out to Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in Houston, and so a lot of time in Atlanta as well. But shout out to Greenville, South Carolina. One of my good
Yeah.
friends is from there. OT Hill. He manages like Josh Howard
Okay.
and Miles Turner, some of the NBA.
Yeah.
But
That's
he
the thing.
but we always trip out because I'm from Greenville, Texas, and he's from Greenville, South Carolina. So
Oh, I didn't even know there was a Greenville, Texas.
yeah,
That's
it's
dope.
about an hour east of Dallas.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah. So, and what school did you go to in Houston?
So in Houston, I went to Travis High School.
hmm
And then in college, I went to Texas A&M Kingsville.
Okay, dope. Yeah. Okay. All right. H Town.
Yeah.
Shout out, shout out to my H Town people that's on here. I know they're in. So growing up, did I know you have a background in track? Did you always love football as well, or how did that kind of go?
I won't say that I always loved football. It was always part of my life because all three of my brothers played. One of my brothers is actually my twin. So
Okay.
I was always outside doing like the drills and catching and tackling and doing all it. Pretty much I was a tomboy. So
Yeah.
whatever my brothers did, I tried to do. But I remember my mom let me go to one of my brother's pee-wee practices and
Uh,
it hit me. And my mom was like, oh, no, that's it. Ain't nobody hitting my daughter.
yeah.
And that was it. And
Yeah.
then I started, doing track and everything else. And, football, it came later on in my life. Like I actually got back into football
hmm
like 2015
Yeah.
after like a year after I graduated from college. So yeah.
Yeah, it's dope, and I love to see your drills and everything like that for two reasons. One is my son; he's gonna be a senior in high school, but he committed to Stanford to play football at
Oh,
Stanford.
wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I also have a daughter, and she's 4, and it's like a mixture. Like she can be girly at times, like really really girly,
Yeah.
but then like she want to play kickball and run, and she
Yeah.
ball and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? It can catch
Yeah.
well. So
She
I'm
can do
like,
both.
exactly. So talk about getting started. Playing football. I guess professionally. How did that start?
So, our season was actually supposed to start. Our first game was supposed to be May 1st, but
Yeah.
COVID-19 happened. So our season is pushed back till May 2021.
Yeah.
But pretty much like I was training for the Olympics all of 2019. I was training to hopefully make the USA rugby team. And
Mm,
unfortunately, like that didn't work out for me. And I kind of fell into a depression because like I was injured, and I don't think people understand like it's a lot of trauma involved when you are training for something and
Yeah.
then it just abruptly ends. And
Right.
so like I went through like a little depression actually, and it was pretty bad. Like I wasn't eating, I was barely sleeping, didn't want to talk to nobody. And I remember like I was crying every day, and I remember my mom was like, "Cynthia, you got to give it to God,
Yeah.
because it's out of your control." I remember that night I got on my knees and I like, I just kind of let everything out. Asked God to kind of just take over the reins of my life. Whatever He had for me, that's what it was gonna be. And a few months later, the owner of the
Yeah.
WFLA gave me a call, and she gave me an offer I couldn't
Yeah.
refuse. So I felt like everything happened for a reason, and I didn't even know she had been scouting me since I was in college. So
Yeah.
it's like, you never know who's watching. Social media is a very powerful tool, if you know what you're doing. So I'm just thankful.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the workouts that you do, like I see you do a lot of hand workouts and where you're like balancing and then catching like tennis balls with each hand and thing like that.
Mhm.
So your catch skills, how did you really develop that? Were you always able to catch? I know you said you played.
Nah.
Yeah,
I actually have always been pretty trash at catching, actually, because I'm a running back. So
yeah,
like, I just come out the backfield and I get the ball. That's really it. I might get like tosses or whatever, but that's about it. But it took me a minute. Like even now, like I still have a long way to go with catching, just because my main position still is a running back, and
right.
so like my coaches they don't have me doing receiver work really.
Yeah,
So that's something that through this COVID-19 stuff I've really been like trying to hone in on, is like really learning how to catch properly and stuff. But
yeah.
it's a process. Definitely if you've only played one position. So
Hmm.
yeah, doing all those drills is definitely necessary.
Yeah, and you definitely have quick feet, as well, because I've been seeing you shake people down and breaking ankles and everything like that too. So do you come up with a lot of the drills? Do you have a team that kind of works with you on that, or what?
Nah, like I have trainers, so
Hmm.
like all my trainers, they play are training football players. So like I just whatever they have me do is what I do.
Yeah,
I mostly train with dudes, so like that definitely helps as well because they're always gonna push you because they don't want you to beat them because I'm a girl. So
exactly.
I definitely I'm thankful that I decided to go that route as well. But yeah, it's really my trainers. Like they're great at what they do.
Yeah, and then I saw you post something a while back about your vertical. I don't remember seeing the exact number, but what's your vertical? Because it seems like you jump really, really high. Like whenever I see you working out.
What was it? At the combine, I think I jumped. What was it? 20. Dang, I can't even remember. It was like 24, 25,
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. I got to go back and look, but it
but
was
it's
decent. It was all right. Like my goal is to definitely get to like 28. So
yeah.
I know that's like a little whatever, but I feel like anything's possible.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'1".
Yeah. So, but you if you 5'1" with a 28 vertical, you know what I'm
I
saying?
know that's a dream right there. So
You're gonna be jumping over people. Forget running past them. You're gonna be
look,
jumping.
I'm trying to get on my Barry Sanders stuff. Saquon Barkley jumping over people.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Shout out to Barry Sanders. Like
Yeah.
people don't be giving him his props like he deserves.
I still don't understand because like that's almost like not giving Michael Jordan his props. Like,
I'd be so upset about it.
yeah, it's like he's literally the greatest running back of all time. Like I know people
Yeah.
have their opinions on that or whatever, but is there any other running back that moves like that has ever moved like him? Like
Right.
there's similarities. Like I do think Saquon is very similar to him. Like he's
Yeah.
like the kind of the new age Barry, but
Mm-hmm.
still only one Barry. I've never seen nobody do the breakdowns, the you
Uh-huh.
how low he gets and he's still able to like cut back. People
Yeah.
saying Bo Jackson in the comments and stuff. Okay, Bo Jackson fans, but it's still only
But
one
yeah, you got to
Barry.
give it up to Barry. Just he had the speed. He'll break you down. Um,
Yeah, he was
you
just crazy.
know, and he could have been the all-time leading rusher if he wouldn't have just abruptly retired. Like
Yeah,
if you would
yeah.
have given him the line that Emmett had, he would have probably had 5,000 more yards. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I don't want to talk about that, man. He definitely retired way too early, but it's hey, it is what it is. He's still the greatest.
Absolutely. Now talk about this shoe deal. Well, shoe company that you started and how you got into that.
So my shoe company actually started first as like it was a company that wanted to offer me a signature line.
Okay.
And so like throughout that little process, they were just like, well, what about we just make you like your own shoe? And I
Yeah.
was like, all right, cool. So like I told the designer exactly what I wanted, and he got it down in literally one try. Like he drew it up, and I was like, dang, that's like exactly what I wanted. And
Yeah.
so like through conversation between me, him, and my manager, who's my mom,
Okay.
we just kind of decided like, why don't we just try to do a shoe company? Because
Yeah.
we had got a really good response when I posted like my shoe.
Hmm.
And they're like, well, if we just did a whole shoe company, then I think we could, we could make that happen. And at first I was like, oh, that's a little far fetched. I mean, like, think about the competition and everything.
Right.
But through talking to my mom and everything, and us just really sitting down and just kind of going over the whole scheme, I was just like, all right, let's do it. Let's just dive into it and like whatever
Yeah.
happens. And we dove into it, and it's been a 2-year process.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of ups and downs. It's been times where we were just like, all right, we just gonna shut it down. It's not gonna happen. And but we kept pushing, we kept going, and the way my family is set up, if we start something, we're gonna finish.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so like even though it's been a 2-year process, we just had to keep going. I thought about every day, like, okay, if I do this, my
Yeah.
kids will be set. This is generational like wealth. This is breaking chains. This is it's so much that was put into this process that's just not, oh, I have a shoe company.
You're right.
It's like it's so much deeper than that. And so like that's what we thought about, and that's really what got us to this point, is knowing that okay, this is going to set generations to come.
Yeah.
And so like I kept that in the forefront of my mind, even though there was days I was like, I'm throwing in the towel. And now we're here. We're about to launch on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. When is it launching? How can people purchase them? Is it unisex? Is it,
Oh yeah. So the website is tronosofficial.com. Actually, if you go to the link in my bio, you just
Okay.
go to the website, it's right there. It is unisex, so it's for men and women. And we are launching Sunday. It is only sizes 6 through 14 for this first shoe.
Okay.
Just because it's a special edition. There's only 2,020 pairs.
Okay.
It's called the Olympic O's, and we're doing it for the Olympics, but
Yeah.
COVID-19 kind of shut that down.
Right.
But we still decided to go ahead and launch the Olympic pair. And yeah, like we're excited. It's a special edition.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite pairs.
Can you talk about the price point?
Oh yeah. So for these that we're launching on Sunday, they're gonna be $225.
Okay.
And all the other colors coming after that will be like around $175, $185.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then we'll have all the sizes. So if you wear a smaller size or larger size, we'll have that available for all the other colors.
Okay. And what's the rollout as far as the different colors? And so that's part one of the question. And then two, will they be available after the one run, or is that kind of it for that particular colorway?
So, as far as the color, but I can't tell you guys which ones we cut because it's a surprise. Because if you go to the website and you sign up as a VIP member, it will show you all the pairs that we're going to be launching.
Okay.
But there are going to be surprise colors as well that we're not going to tell you guys. So you just have to be patient on that. And I'm sorry, what was the other question?
I was just asking, like, with this first run, once they sell out,
Yeah, that's it.
You can't have another pair of that particular color?
It's a special edition, so
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. So make sure y'all pick up that shoe. It's one time. How many do you say? You say 2,000 on?
2020.
2,000. You see? So yeah. So I wear 13. So I'm on there early because then people gonna be in there trying to get them.
You're right.
Yeah, for sure. So so talk about some of the other things that you've kind of been working on without it being a season right now. I know you said you've been working on your hands. You've been working on the shoe company. What are some other things that you're doing right now since you have a little bit more time than you may normally have?
Yeah. So there's a lot of other things that we're working on as well. I'm gonna be launching a CBD line as well. I'm a big advocate for CBD. When I was training for the Olympics, I was actually suffering from injury most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not say most of the time, but towards the end. And I actually went to New Zealand to train, and I was still injured, but
Yeah.
I was using CBD, so it got me through like that 2 week period of being out there.
Yeah.
And so that really kind of was like, man, like people don't understand. I mean, I think people understand the benefits of CBD, but the way that it was like changing my life and allowing me to still be an athlete was crazy. So I was like, I need to have my own line. So I decided to go ahead and do that.
So you doing the creams or
go ahead.
You doing the CBD creams or what kind?
I can't say. I can't even tell you all that yet.
Okay.
But it's going to be unique. It's going to be a very unique, unique products that I'm going to be putting out. But the cream is definitely going to be, obviously one of the things. But there's going to be some things that you guys haven't seen on the market yet.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
I gotta do unique stuff. So that I'm also gonna come out with my own sock line because I'm really known for like wearing my socks never match. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and since we're doing the shoes, let me also have the socks available as well.
Absolutely.
Of course, we're gonna have apparel for men and women as well that you guys can rock with the shoes and everything. Yeah. And then it's gonna be some TV stuff, so you guys stay tuned with that. I'm gonna be doing some more TV stuff as well, and yeah, it's a few other things that I can't talk about, but y'all just gotta stay tuned.
Yeah, that's really dope, and I like how you're diversifying and doing different things, but but they all kind of work in concert, especially for the female athlete, and and also talk about working through some of the because I read the article with Bobby Penn. I had her on the show maybe a couple of weeks ago as well. Yeah, so talk about some of the working through some of the adversity in your in becoming an athlete.
Man, I don't know where to start. I've always had like a very up and down athletic career, especially when it came to track, because I just was very, very injury prone back then. I didn't really understand my body because I'm very muscular, obviously. But I was way more muscular when I was running track because
what were you?
I ran 100 and 200.
Okay.
4x1. So in college I was gaining more like muscle mass and I was getting bigger. And I just wasn't really. I didn't understand all that, and I didn't have the best coaching, to be quite honest. So that was kind of my issue in track or whatever. But man, track taught me a lot about perseverance because there was a lot of times I was just like, I don't want to be an athlete anymore. Yeah. And like I didn't have a support system in college as far as like my coaching. So like that took a lot of the love of the sport away. Yeah. And so like I remember what really kind of pushed me to be who I am today, to be quite honest. Like a big part of it is when I was in college. It was my senior year. Yeah. And I did not like my coach, to be honest. And I had a choice of either going to nationals, getting a ring for the 4x1, or going to start my business, which is Clean Labs or whatever, and starting my life as an adult. And my mom was like, well, you got to pick one because they're both on the same day. Because I was going to be filming my fitness DVD. And so, like, I decided to go and start my life, which you should want to do if you're an adult. And so, well, I'm not going to say that. If our relationship would have been better, then maybe. Right. But anyways, I was like, all right. So I had to go to his office. I went and told him that, okay, I'm going to go and start my business. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And he just looked at me and laughed and was like, wow, you're going to have to do something really amazing in your life to make up for this, and I doubt that you will.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, bet. So ever since that day, I just always had this chip on my shoulder to just like be this amazing human being just because he told me that I wouldn't. And I feel like my life is reflecting that because I'm a very ambitious, hungry person. And I think he had a lot to do with that without him even knowing it. Yeah. And, sometimes, God puts people in your life to push you to a whole different level. And I feel like that was part of the reason why, I've done what I've done. So.
Absolutely. And then and initially you I think we connected on LinkedIn, and I saw that you were doing a lot of interviews and media stuff as well, like as you actually being the host. So talk about some of your media work as well.
So I actually just started really doing that like more this year, before all this COVID-19 stuff. But when I was at the Super Bowl, I interviewed like a few NFL players. I got to interview Sierra and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's
Um, I feel so crazy because I can't remember everybody's names, but some other NFL players. And then I was gonna be doing some other stuff that unfortunately got canceled. That would have definitely kind of solidified my, I guess, interviewer, place or whatever.
right.
But that got canceled due to COVID. So hopefully after things calm down, I'll be able to continue with that and really do a lot more
Hmm.
because I really enjoy interviewing people instead of always being the one being interviewed.
Yeah,
Because you really get to know about people on a deeper level.
yeah.
And when I was doing that, it was like, I don't know, it felt great. So I really loved it. It's almost like for me, something that I don't think people understand. Like people say, what is your passion? Like I'm a public speaker as well. And that to me is more fulfilling than anything that I've ever done in my life because I get to talk to kids. I get to talk to young girls, young boys, older women, older men, who might need somebody that's going to help push them because everybody doesn't have somebody speaking life into them or telling them what they could be, telling them what they're capable of. And I think it's important for especially kids to
Hmm.
see people that look like them doing something in life.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of like my role for children is to just be that role model to show them that literally anything is possible. Like there is no ceiling. The stars is not the limit. The sky is not the limit, whatever you want to say. And I just feel like that's one of my God-given gifts.
Yeah, and I'm naturally a connector, and and my background has always been like radio and entertainment, but I've always been kind of more behind the scenes. But with COVID happening, it's like, you know what, I got to get out in front. A lot of people are free and they're available, so I can start
Yeah.
people, because it's like if you're not keeping if a celebrity isn't kind of keeping themselves in the mix or don't have a project out right this second, traditional media really isn't really checking for them.
Exactly.
And so many people that I've hit up have been available, and they're like, yo, okay, like
Right. Yeah, you're right.
when I first started, I had Gary Owen on, the comedian,
Oh
and,
wow.
and we were on for like an hour because he was like, man, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm at the house. I'm ready to get out. Like,
Yeah, this is a perfect time for media right now to like really be talking to people that you probably couldn't get before
yeah,
all this happened. Like, yeah, you're right. Because I was, like I said, doing interviews. Like when I was going live with people, I was like, oh man, they actually said okay, and like it's crazy. But yeah, like that's great. And I feel like that's something too that this whole COVID-19 thing is kind of pushing people out of their comfort zones,
yes.
and like people are doing things that they probably didn't think that they could do or would do. And
Hmm.
now this is like one of their new things that they're doing. Like they build a little business or a little side hustle or whatever. And I think it's important. Like I think even though it does suck that we can't move around, we're not able to be around our family and friends as much or whatever and go out. But I do think this is a great time to do the things that you didn't have time to do. So if you
Right.
wanted to write a book, if you wanted to interview people, if you wanted to do this, do that, I think this is a perfect time to like really, really do it. Like you ain't got no choice. What else are you doing? Like let's be honest. What else are you
You're right. It's
doing?
like you got to do something. You just can't be sitting up,
Yeah.
playing on Instagram every day and, and posting pictures.
I'm saying, man, get to
Yeah.
it.
And I've been seeing you go live, quite a bit, and speaking to your fans and answering questions and things like that. So, do you have a certain time that you do that on a regular, or are you just kind of like, oh, I got a few minutes, let me just hop on for a second?
Literally, it's just when I have time. Like if I'm about to go train or something, but I got like a 2 hour window, I'll hop on. Or if I'm like just sitting around because I'm doing my day, I'll hop on. But just whenever I have time. But I'm trying to get on more because I know like a lot of people have a lot of questions, and I love to really talk to my followers. Like I'm not one of them people that just
Yeah.
like can't talk to me. Like I'm very chill. And even though people think I'm like bougie or whatever because of my pictures, but I'm really chill. Like I be chilling. Like I don't
Well, well, dope. Well, so So what message do you have for another young girl who may be in a similar position? Like, okay, I want to play this sport, but they're saying I should be more girly or, more this way as opposed to, so what message do you have for those young girls in that same position?
Man, first of all, like, there is no box that you have to live in. I think that's something that women are traditionally brought up to feel is like, okay, you have to be this damsel in distress, this dainty flower that nobody can touch or whatever. And it's, if you want to be that, that's fine. But if you're somebody that want to go and play football, want to go and box, or want to go play basketball, whatever you want to do, and still be a girl, a woman, then go do that. Like, people always have this image of what I'm supposed to look like because I play football or whatever, or I play rugby. So like they're like, oh, it's no way, look at you. And I'm like, what? Like, what does that even mean? So I feel like if you want to, you can be and do whatever you want to do. That's like the biggest thing that I want to tell women and men, young boys, young girls. Like, if you want it, go get it. That is literally the best advice somebody gave me, is like, if you want it, go get it. There's no limitations. There's no excuses. If you want it, it's yours. You can have it. And I don't think people hear that enough, because like, it definitely, if you have like this crazy dream, everybody's like, oh, that sounds good. But I mean, let's be honest, like, that's probably not possible. But really, what is not possible?
Right.
I mean, I'm just being real. Like, what is not possible? What is it that you can't have?
Yeah.
If you want it bad enough, and if you put it in work. And people are gonna tell you all the time your dreams is crazy. I get told I'm crazy every day. They're like, you play football? You play tackle football for? And I'm like, yes. They're like, oh nah, that's not possible. And I'm like, what? You play rugby? Like, you play rugby? I'm like, yes, I play rugby. And it's like, everybody always feels like I'm supposed to look and walk and talk a certain way, but I'm like, I'm me. And I've never wanted to be nobody else. I've always been different. I've always been unique. I've always been the opposite of what people think, which I love. And I just think that it's so easy to fit in, so why not stand out? And so, like, that's the best advice, is just be you. Be you. Somebody gonna feel it one day.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because so many times, people will tell people their dreams, and then they'll, get the wrong reaction. And some people will actually stop doing what they want to do. And it's like, you have to understand, as an entrepreneur or anything that you're trying to do, your dream is not somebody else's dream. So they're not going to understand you. And it can be a family member, it can be a brother, sister, mom, dad, whatever it may be. They may not feel you, but it ain't their dream.
Let me say this, though. This is something that I do want to say. And I'm not a parent yet, but I have nieces and nephews. But I do feel like that is why parenting is very important as well, because that starts as a child. When I was young, my mom and father told me every day that I could fly if I wanted to. I could be this, I could be that. Like, you can do and be whatever you want to be. And I believe that. Like, people get on DJ Khaled and say he's so corny, but his children are going to be so freaking confident. It's going to be crazy. And people do not speak life into their kids. And then they go into the world and hear what they can't do and who they're not and who they are. And like, people don't understand that is a vital time to like build the confidence. And sometimes the possible success a child is going to have one day. And if they go home and they don't hear their parents saying, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're handsome, oh, you're the best athlete, oh, you're so smart, and they go to school and hear you're dumb, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, who are they going to believe?
For sure. Yeah.
So it's like, you got to make sure that you're developing that kid in that confidence and who they are and their, and their worth at a young age. Because I don't think I would be the same person if my parents didn't do that. And then I'm a woman at that. I'm a woman. So imagine the things that we get told all of our lives.
Right.
So it's like, I think that you have to do that. So I think people need to focus on that too. So I know that was like completely off subject, but I just
that was great. Because, and you mentioned that you like public speaking as well. And I go and speak at a lot of schools and things like that. And it's all about exposure at the end of the day. Because most people want to do what they want to do. They want to be rappers or athletes or whatever it may be, and they're only stuck thinking of that one way, as opposed to, you know, you could still have a passion for sports, but you can own a shoe company. You can have a passion for music, but you don't have to be the rapper. You can own the record label. You can, you know, you can do marketing for a record label. Like, and I just try to show them, you know, that side of it because you know, I've worked with Tom Joyner before, and I've worked with Marcellus and Michael Bennett, and have done so many things within entertainment. But I wasn't the star. I was, you know, working there.
Right.
So it's and typically the people behind the scenes last longer than the actual star.
That's
So
real. That's real. Like they have to see that there's other ways to
yeah,
get to the same dream, but it might just be a little different.
right.
So it's like, and I think that's important too to show people that you don't have to be this athlete, only an athlete. You don't have to be only this, only that. There's other ways and other things that you can do as well.
Yeah.
Because 1% of the world is only going to be able to do those star roles or those star jobs, whatever you want to say. And if you don't get that, that doesn't mean that, you know, you're not good enough or that you're not worth it or whatever people may think. Because when I was young, I'm not gonna lie, like I was like, man, if I didn't go to the Olympics, who am I?
Right.
Like I my self identity was in being an athlete.
Yeah.
Until I got older and I got into entrepreneurship, and I'm like, okay, I love sports, but if it ended today, I still have something else that I can fall back on.
Absolutely.
And that's something that we got to teach these athletes too. You know, that your sport, you're not like a super saiyan and nothing. Like, you're going to one day have to be done, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, what else are you going to do? Like, who else are you outside of being this NFL player or being this hockey player or soccer player? Like, there has to be more to you.
Right.
And a lot of us get lost in that little, you know, self-identity crisis when it comes to that, because I did.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But thank you so much. I don't want to take up, you know, too much of your time. I really appreciate you for being on the show, and I'm excited to see everything that you have and the different colorways on the shoes, and you said this Sunday.
Yes,
So,
Sunday. So midnight on Saturday is when the shoes will be dropping for pre-order.
yeah. Well, and shout out the website one more time.
It's tronosofficial.com. And if you go to my bio, on my web, or if you go to my profile and look in the bio, you will see the link to the website.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Okay. Bye.